Hello Marvel Heroes fans, my name is Wilfred and welcome to my channel. This is a video made right after the biggest system update ever from this free-to-play game called Marvel Heroes. So it is called the surviving day one of this change because they have changed tremendous amount of stuff, including your stash and inventory and everything else. So it's going to be very confusing for some of you, be as you are quite new to the game or veteran or lapsed veterans haven't been playing this game for a while. So this video is really to get you started as soon as you can, and I'll try my best to share some tips with you by looking at how things are going, probably give you some insight on how I feel I will approach this game from now on. I will reserve my own personal opinion on another video because I know some of you ask how I feel about this update. And I think it has been a very eventful day today. Been following the forum is pretty much on fire. Steam review is probably plummeted to the very negative in some sense. The game server has crashed, website has down. So it's a lot of eventful stuff. So I'm not going to talk about how I feel about this whole update as much as I can. But to really help you out here when you first approach the game. Now, if you are like me having 59 heroes, you log into a game, there's a lot of things that change. And how should we go about in dealing with this? My own personal advice is try to keep it simple and get back to the game as soon as you can, provided that you still want to play this game. Because you will need to spend some time to sort out all these inventories, think about how to re-gear your hero and so on, the build and so on. But you probably wouldn't want to spend too much time going through all 59 of them. Looking at all this big picture, all the gear and so on. So I mean that is probably my advice to you. And even moving forward, I think you should focus on picking just one or a couple of heroes that you really like to move ahead. Why? Because in this new update, everything has difficulty slider to it. So if you play a terminal, with normal difficulties versus heroic, you get 90%. And if you go to, say, cosmic, you get 200% of the bonus XP and credit fine. So in that sense, you could spend time gearing your heroes, all of them, like in the old days. But I don't think they'll be more efficient. But at least, from my perspective, I'm just approaching this game in a more efficiency. If you like to play any heroes that you like, and there's nothing stopping you from enjoying the game, playing one of the lower difficulties. Because at the end of the day, you have time yourself, whether you can complete a cosmic difficulty or not. You could spend more time using medkit or kiting around a little bit, or spend more time killing the boss. But then, if you are spending more than double of the time compared to the heroic difficulties, then I would say it's not worth it. You may as well do more of this, get more XP. Because the Infinity system, which is the new, which is the replaced Omega system, is going to work this way. It has no cap to it. So the more XP you collect, the stronger your heroes would be. So the natural way to approach this, at least from my perspective, is to pick a few heroes that you feel that are strong and to develop from there. It has a lot of different approach to it, but in this approach, I think it's probably the most efficient way, and I think it's also the most economic way, because the more heroes you play, the more tempted you are to buy stash, buy costume and so on. So if you just stay for a few, like what I would do, and I think by and large you're fine. And I would advise picking heroes that are not fighting on energy, because if you pick heroes like the energy, you're fighting with the crit chance. And now if they have a new formula for the crit chance and brutal chance. So the brutal you can actually get quite high. And to open up brutal, you need the crit as well. So you have lesser option if you are energy hero, because you have to get the crit chance anyway. There's no other options. If you are not an energy hero, then it's fine, because you can then pick all this 5% without having to trade off between the energy versus the crit. Same as for fighting as well, because fighting you need brutal. So again, if your hero is a fighting hero, then you are actually trade off between this attribute and that attribute. Now, naturally, from a design point of view, if you look at this whole entire Infinity system, you may want to pick the low-hanging fruit first before going into the more expensive attribute. It may be, but sometimes it's good to have options in life. You never know. Sometimes maybe attribute is the way to go. So now, for those who has been awake for quite some time, the infinity system works in a way that you need to acquire XP to unlock the infinity germs. It is very much like Diablo 3, in some sense the Paragon, but I would personally think that the Diablo 3 Paragon design is better in the sense that this one here, they mix the attribute inside. If the infinity system only have this couple of things, just like the Diablo 3, means that there's not much like real trade-off like this type, like the one that I just showed you, the energy versus the crit, then I'll say, yeah, I mean, it's a good design. But because they mix the attribute inside, then it becomes something like this that you have to think about. So it's just my personal view on this infinity system. But you have no control over how the germs are being leveled. It will level eventually one by one as you gain the infinity point. So just something to take note of that. Now, when you first day one log in the game, you probably see something like, whoa, a lot of like boxes here, all filled up. Your inventory is filled up. You spend hours before this update to sort out your inventory, and you end up something like this, which is what I have. All your team up gear are being moved somewhere. It's filled with all these story bonus reward box that spawn a random artifact for your current hero. I will open some in just a bit. I mean, I can open one right now. So what does it look like? So it give me a nut, two, like, you know, some of these things. So will it open up something that is not going to be useful for this hero, meaning the attribute I do not know. But I also don't want to open up too many of these right now because I may need some of these artifacts in the future. But what it really means is that your stash is going to move a lot. Now, if you take a look at your delivery queue, which is this one here, so you have the delivery queue. Okay, for me, I have pushed a lot of those Mystic Coffers items inside the queue, delivery box. But what they've done is that they actually mix all my stuff inside all these items. So it becomes very painful to even pick up which one to put into your hero. So, like for example, this one is a Black Widow core that they have extracted and put it in the queue itself. This one is a Black Widow as well. So what you could do, provided that you have space over here, you could actually just take out all the cores and then put into your hero stash if you have. They'll automatically go there. So that's one way. And alternatively, you could kind of guess like, okay, measure is M, so M is somewhere probably below to find the one that's not locked, and there'll be your core. And then you can pick up your core from there. So this is whose one. This is even more strange, is that for this particular one, it's not even binded to any heroes, and they move it into the delivery box for me in some sense. And I have some unique that's being moved inside as well. I have no idea how this whole thing works. But in a sense, I mean, there are some Taskmaster, but it mixed with something else that has not been binded. But it's something that you just need to pay attention to. But I think what you could do is that you could look for the core that you have if you don't want to move all these things around and move left and right and center and stuff like that, because some are bounded, some are not bounded. So it could be a little bit confusing. But at least you know where things are. Then you say that, where are all my team up gear? Then you say, well, I mean, you check your delivery box. If not, then you check your inventory. So like this one here, a lot of these boxes here. Can you see how many of these? So they are all inside this delivery box. But there are other things as well. Of course, there are some like, random stuff that help you to, like all this currency, whatnot, I don't know. I mean, there's some random stuff that help you go through this period of time. I heard that there's some crafting materials for you as well. So crafting box, 100 of each crafting material and stuff like that. So there are quite a lot of stuff here that you may need to go through. Unfortunately, none of these boxes can be moved to your hero stash. So you have to make sure that some of your stash has some space inside. to move things around. So that's another thing that you have to be mindful of. That it may come a point in time whereby it's very confusing. Like for example, this used to be my majority of it was X-Gene that has all this core to it. So anything that's purple, if you store a lot like mine, they can just without thinking sell it away. You may come across stash like this, like where are all my stuff? Because previously I wish I could have taken some video or picture on it, but Gazillion has emptied my stash in some sense. I trust that they move it in the delivery queue because I'm seeing a lot of core appearing in my queue. But why do they move all this core out in the cube itself? I do not know. I have no idea how they do things, why they do things they do. But that is you either trust the system or you can raise a ticket like why is it all my stuff are missing and stuff like that. But do check your queue. That may be all there. If it's all there, maybe you want to leave it there because you need some space for all this stuff as well. So ultimately, if you need the artifact, then you can open some of this stuff and see what is inside. So that's another tips for you guys. So make sure you find the core back, because if you play as Magic right now without a core, she'll be very weak. So they have separated the core from your costume. So go through your delivery queue and find it, and hope. I mean, it has a lot of things to go through, but it's just one of those things in this game. Another thing that I would like to probably share with you is that check out the archetype of your hero. So each hero has an archetype. It's very important. No longer the attribute works very differently these days. So you gain a 4% of damage increase per attribute, be as fighting or energy. So this is probably one of the worst heroes to level up because, like I said before, if I do a fighting or energy, that means that I will have to trade off between the +5 crit and +5 brutal. So that means that I cannot, if you are starting off this game or midway through the Omega system in the past, it'll be a very long time until you even see return from your Infinity system that buff your attribute, right? So for me, if I could put 6 attribute onto each one of the fighting or energy, I get 12 times 4%, which is the buff to my damage. But I can't if I have to trade off between 5% crit and 5% brutal. Right, so again, I mean, I probably would not play Magic, which is a shame, but I'll pick another hero that doesn't really have fighting and or energy to go for it. So do check your archetype. Now, why is it important? Is that the archetype would determine which kind of artifact you picked up. So just recap, Magic is physical and energy. Previously, she was mental, but of course it was plus energy as well. So if you take a look at the headband here, fighting and energy means that this headband is no longer optimal for her. Can she still use it? Of course you can. You can use anything you like. there's no if that's the only thing you have, then use it. But is it optimal? No, because this particular item will be best used for those heroes that does area damage as well as intelligence heroes. So do check out my guide. I'll update my archetype quick reference guide today or tomorrow to reflect some of these changes they have made to the heroes archetype. But so this artifact is basically not optimal for Magic, so I can take it away if I still choose to play Magic. So next one you take a look at this is +2 fighting and whatnot. So it's supposed to be +3. So can I still use it? I say yes, because she's is a fighting and energy hero, so I can still use it. Well, luckily I use one generic artifact. So the medallion, so I can still use that. Can I still use this one? She is energy and fighting, so yeah, I mean that's fine actually. Let me double check. Yep, energy and fighting. So I can still use this one, which is kind of good news. I think something changed during the update. So the last one is this one here. So again, I mean, can I use this? I could, but then it's not optimized anymore. So I may not be using this one as well. So my Magic will need to unbind 2 of these guys. I may need to swap the so-called the blessing as well, because not all my heroes are blessed. So do pay attention to the cost. Now, unfortunately, Gazillion is not going to help you with all this unbinding and so on in terms of credit. So if you have not been exchanging a lot of credit crest in the past, then you may run into some kind of like credit issue if you try to swap a lot of these guys. I think that's why they're trying to give you some of these things to compensate. But really, I mean, these things are really rubbish in some sense. I mean, maybe this is not. Actually, what on earth is this one? Actually, this is not too bad if you take a look at this one. For Scrooge or something like that. So do check out all these things before you toss it away. It may not be that bad. So that again is inventory space. Then you may need to actually buy inventory space for that. Check all the gears, where every one of them. Check whether it's useful for you or not. Because at the end of the day, all these things may change. Like they've changed the way that some of these work. So do check all these affixes very carefully to see whether you still would like to use it or not. Do check your legendary as well, because some legendary do change, like Northstone. Unfortunately, they are also not helping us for a full refund. So if you had a Northstone and now the Northstone become physical energy, I believe, then too bad, you lose 200 OD mark per heroes that you have on the having Northstone. So that's another thing there. Do check all this gear one by one to see whether even some of these are very basic gear, because they have modified some of this plus power point to it. So all this, check whether they're still used. Check all these things. See whether they're still useful for you or not. Each one of them, even your core and stuff like that. So and if you have Flourish, use it as well. These are more like a spray. It could be rather fun. I don't know whether I've bound it here or not. I probably haven't yet. I just started playing. So there's one that is Flourish. I think it's one of those like here. They can bind it to. Man, I'm running out of thing to bind actually. Maybe I do this. No. Oh man, not left shift, please. Now I'm like my left shift is gone. So maybe minus. Underscore. No, cancel. Anyway, I don't want to mess up my mapping. So anyway, choose one there. You can have a spray here as well. I find it rather not useful. I actually like some of the comments in the forum saying that why don't this one be a visual instead? So you put a visual artifact here or effect. I don't know. But in any case, do check all these things before you start on a journey, because now you should be pretty vested in your hero. Do pick one that you focus play, and you can't really go through all 59 of them at one shot. It'll probably drive you mad in some sense. So and do what you can. And the last thing, of course, well, it's not last, but one of the last thing, of course, is do check out there's one thing that you need to look into, is the ancient forgotten device. That all the cubes that you have been collecting has been converted into ancient forgotten device. It looks like a little white kind of potion thingy that I can't really. It is so many here that I don't even know where things are anymore. But you get this, you see it. So those you can combine with the old one you have. So in the past I've collected some, and if you haven't been throwing away those in the past, then you could combine them. Talk to Cleo in the Avenger Tower to exchange for your pet and so on, depending on how many you have. I find 40, and after that I have another 95 from my from previous Recon device kind of exchange. So I have quite a number of ancient forgotten device. I can use it for the exchange of stuff here. So it's over here. Sorry, I mean it takes a while. But this is the one that I have, and I think in my stash somewhere I have another ancient forgotten device somewhere that I could combine them to be to use as the I don't know, man. I mean, I think it will take a while for you to get familiarize yourself with all this stuff out there. Just trying to find the stuff, and everything is being mixed up. Like I have a core here. How does a core end up there and there? I don't know. Somehow it's pretty random the way. You just have to trust that they're doing the right thing to put the stuff inside where you are. So I don't know. I mean there are a lot of things to go through. But I have one here. So here is the one that you have here. So somehow it doesn't really mix together, but I presume that it still works. So that is where you you could take a look at the exchange for some pets. I mean, if you want to do it right now, you could. Hang on. So now there's a charge up, and things are going a little bit slowly. They want you to slow down in everything you do, including getting all this stuff. So you can buy some of these things, Olays, Lucky, Carl, and stuff like that. So I think those would probably be something I would recommend getting a pet, or you can just get some spray paints as well for the leftover. So I leave it to your own judgment on what to do with them. And the last but not the least, I would like to advise upon the build itself. Now I'll take some time to go through the build. I do not know how much I'll play this game right now, because I would like to wait until the Omega gear is out to start playing, because I don't want to burn myself out on old content. There's nothing new here for me to play. So, but I would like to collect the gear to do build. So what I'll do, I may just look into the build itself purely based on the theory crafting perspective. A hero without gear, no team up gear, and so on. And then after that, I would sort of like theory craft and advise upon you what some of this combo that you can use for your hero, because I think it could be quite confusing. But it may take some time for me to go through, as well as they may still tune the heroes. I do not know. So my advice to you is that stick to your old build. I know some people may think that you should just try something new for the sake of trying something new. I don't quite believe in that, because sometimes if I like my heroes to play a certain way, I would prefer not to deviate too much from that path. But that's really up to you. But my advice is really try to pick those power or talent that resemble what you are doing, so that you can quickly get back into the game. I think that is the whole idea. But do feel free to pick any other combination just to experience what other aspect you can use. But I'm a strong believer that success breeds success. So as you are enjoying the game, then you start to play a little bit more. Otherwise, you just give up and not to continue playing this game. So that is my advice to you. I hope it's helpful. From someone that has been playing this game for, I don't know, about thousands of hours, 2005, so yeah, maybe about 3,500, 4,000 hours on this game. Spend a lot of money here, probably close to $1,000 US. So I hope those advice will be somewhat useful to you, and do feel free to share your experience with this crowd as well. There are a lot of new players who are enjoying this whole update. And as I promised, I'll reserve my opinion about this update to a different video, because I don't want to mix things up and become like ranting or high praises or whatnot. It kind of like dilute what I'm trying to hear is trying to do here, which is to help some of you to quickly get back to the game. I hope I haven't really missed anything at all. But do, oh yeah, of course the other thing is that which difficulties should you be playing? It's really up to you. I would prefer to play something that I can manage and have fun with it. So do start with something that is more moderate. Maybe if you run a solo kind of terminal, start with something heroic, not too taxing. Just success breeds success. Get back to the game. You may try something harder, but make sure that you don't spend too much time doing this. Otherwise, you are losing a lot of XP opportunity. Just continue playing some of these like Cosmic Hightown, Cosmic kind of like Patrol and so on. I heard that it could be rather challenging. So just do what is fun. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to wait until the Omega gear come out, which is probably a month or so, there's nothing wrong with that as well. The exactly approach I'm doing as well, because I've done farming unique. I've done exchanging credit chests that now I can't even exchange anymore. Now it's just farming XP. So this game is just XP farming for me. All right. So now I'll see you next time. Do suggest what other topics you would like me to cover. I'm interested to know how you're playing this game right now. So do let me know, or not playing. All right. See you next time. Goodbye.